Hello, everybody. It's Aaron. Welcome to another episode of Feed the Beast. Today, we're going to set up all of our machines. We're going to automate them all. I've already crafted a bunch of things with the molecular assembler chamber. And once we get this stuff set up, we can once again turn on the farm and start quarrying again. So then we can get a bunch of materials, hopefully a ridiculous amount of materials, and then do some fun, more advanced stuff. I'm just cooking up some conduit right now. Basically what I've done is I hollowed out a little room down here, and I think what we'll do is we're going to use the biofuel generators, since we have that big biofuel tank over there. And that is a unifier. We have another biofuel generator down here, which I think we can go ahead and take. Or maybe we'll just leave it there for the time being, in case I overlooked anything and need to craft some more stuff. This is everything I've taught the Mac, and what I plan on doing is I'm going to remove this. All the barrels will go away, of course, and the chests. We're going to make a wall right here for all of the AE components, and then what I think we'll do is we'll make a walkway right here and a walkway right here. We'll put the molecular assembler chamber down there in the floor, maybe above, either way, so that when we walk across into the back room there, we can kind of look down and see what's happening. Most likely all the machines will go somewhere in this area. I don't know that they will necessarily be on the wall because they don't necessarily need to be, but this is the general area where we will put them. So I've already got a tesseract down here and some liquiduct. So basically what I can do is I can just put both biofuel generators down here, run the liquiduct over. Maybe I have some in my quarry bag. I do. And then we can just connect the conduit to wherever we want to connect it. And I don't know that I really, yeah, I do need the tesseract. I was thinking I might not need it, but I definitely do. And so once we get this hooked up, we can then hook that guy up so that we can make biofuel right here instead of tesseracting it from the other side. So if our generator is there, we'll just make a little trough in the floor. Hopefully I don't run out of juice. And we can just run our conduit, which I didn't get. Also, the spawner here, I figured I'd just go ahead and leave it, maybe put it in glass or something, and kind of use it as a decoration of sorts. Alright, so let's grab all our machines. I thought I had made the machines. Apparently, that's the one thing I forgot. I do have all the recipes in there for pulverizers, the powered furnaces, etc., magma crucibles, and liquid transposers as well. I think I might have to put a couple of bricks together for some of them, but well, I thought I taught it that recipe. I did the transposer, but I forgot the crucible. Not a big deal. I'm going to have to probably find some nether brick. I don't know that I have any of that. Doesn't look like it. So I've got a pair that we can set up. We'll just use those. And then when I need to set up the ones for the ender pearls, which honestly won't be until I make an enderman spawner. So there's no real hurry on that one. I just want to wanted to kind of go ahead and lay it out how I thought it was going to go. So we'll run this here, and then what I'll probably do is just stack the things on top of each other, and then I'll put the interfaces and or export buses on the sides. So we've got 5 pulverizers. Might be overkill. I've never done these vertically like this, so it'll be interesting. So the first thing we need to do is actually zero out the top and bottom and back, because those are not going to be used for input or output. If you hold shift and click instead of cycling through, it just goes to gray, kind of disables the input or output. It's a little faster. So we'll make the right side orange on all of these. And I don't know if I'm going to make a wall here or not. I'm not really too worried about that because I don't know, this is all kind of behind the scenes stuff, so it's not really that big of an issue to me. So we'll leave 2 spaces, and then we will run more conduit over this way. And then we'll put some furnaces. We probably only need 3 of these to start. What I like to do is actually cook everything in induction furnaces from Industrial Craft, because they're so much faster. But these will do for now. I plan on splitting all of the ores between 2 different pulverizers. Same thing with these. And then the top 2 pulverizers and the top furnace will be used for recipes with the interface. So let's just toss these back into the system because they don't really need to be down here. And then we'll leave 2 more spaces, I suppose. We'll put a set of a crucible transposer combo right here, and that's pretty easy since they feed each other. So let's actually go upstairs and get those. And I'm also considering, you know, we got that big tank of milk. I just uploaded a video a little while ago. Wook did a spotlight on the Force engine. I guess because there's not a lot of information about it out there. And I posted another little video about like a real world application of it. It's basically how I have it set up on this server that I play on. So I figured I'd share that so everybody could see. Maybe it'll come in handy. So let's actually make this left side the input of this. So we're going to need to input stuff on the left side of here as well. Basically, the redstone will go in the top or the left, either way. It goes down into the transposer. The conduit or energy cell frames go into the left, and then we'll pull them out on the right. So I should go ahead and let's look at these first. I'll just go ahead and save the states of those. So I don't remember which was which, unfortunately. So I don't have to reprogram them. So let's put this one on the top. That is the correct one, surprisingly. We'll turn it over there, and then the other one we'll put on the top furnace. And then we're going to need an export bus, or sorry, an import bus. I always mix them up. An import bus on the output side for both of those. And I know I forgot to mention it, but my my idea for the router to pull out of the barrels was a huge success. It worked really, really well. It took a little while, but that's to be expected. Not that big of a deal. Alright, so we've got the basic things set up for that. What we can do now is we can tear down all of this stuff and actually move it. And I'm going to force wrench that. I don't think it keeps the drives. I probably should find a place to put all these deep storage units as well. Let's put those along this wall right here. I don't know what is in what, but it really doesn't matter. When I put the storage buses on top, before I connect them to the network, let's actually move those over a bit. What's that, 6? What I'll do is I'll just set the priority higher than the rest of the network, so all of these get filled before the AE disks do. See, that doesn't need to go. This will need to go. And that, and then we can move our Tesseract. We can move our Ender chest, put an import bus on it, which somebody pointed out to me in a comment, probably on the last video. That is actually a really good method of getting things from your Ender chest into your ME network. I like to use a precision import bus on stack mode because I want it to happen right now. So I suppose we'll put this right here so we can run the power up through the floor. We'll put the drive there. Of course, it's facing the wrong way. Crafting monitor and access terminal. And I probably should have grabbed all my ME cable out of there before I moved it, but not that big of a deal. We do have power for these guys right now, so I can always make a few more conduits. Not that much of an issue. And now we have 30 MJ. So there's really no good way to run the power up to that, so I'm just going to go straight up. And I think what I'm going to try to do for this is I'm just going to go ahead, get everything set up, and then if I need to split the video, I'll just make a part 1 and a part 2. Rather than record it in 2 separate videos. It's all the same to you guys, I'm sure. Alright, so ME Should have power. It does. I'm not sure about the priority of what gets power first, whether it's the closest thing to the power source or how that works. So I'm probably going to end up adding, well, I guess I could make sure that connects. I'm probably going to end up adding more generators because I cannot have my ME network run out of power. That's a very bad thing. And then eventually what will happen is once we get some more resources, what I'll probably do is just make some solar and just run it through the ceiling, assuming the redwood is not blocking the path. So we're also going to have to run some ME cable next to this. I guess we can go down through the wall or straight down from the ceiling into the floor. Either way, just hope we have enough of it. Really hard for me to do this while flying for some reason. Alright, so since I can put facades on this, I'm just going to bury this one block deep and run it straight over here. And then once we get the assembly table set up, I can make facades and it'll just look like a part of the floor. I wish the Imibus microblocks was in this because those things covered up everything, but unfortunately that is not the case. We don't have it. So, you know, what are you going to do? So let me go grab a few more import buses and export buses for this. Or I'll just grab all the buses since we're going to need them all. On the sides of these, I'm only going to use basic import buses because it doesn't need to happen in stack mode or anything like that. So a basic bus is just fine. And this one will get a basic as well. For the exporting on these, I'm going to need a precision on the bottom and a basic on the top. The reason being, since this is the one for, what am I looking for? I guess I didn't make any precisions. This is going to input the conduit frame and the energy cell frame, so I'm going to have to put more than one item in there. The top only gets redstone. That's all it ever is going to get, so not that big of a deal. And I'll need another precision export for that one. So let me grab a couple of these. We'll turn those. And then we'll set them up. I didn't bother to make that recipe because I don't know that I don't know how many of them I'm going to use, and it's pretty easy to just put a processor with it. Not that big of a deal. Alright, so I don't have a quartz wrench. Maybe I don't need it. I don't. They built it in. Alright. So how I set these up, I take one item that is in here, I put it in there, and then I set the priority to like 64 or something. To my understanding, the higher priority gets used first. So if you don't already have the things in your network and you set up the storage bus, it's not an issue. because it'll go to this storage bus since it's set as a rule. But if you don't, if you already have stuff on your network, any new stuff will go where the existing stuff is. Like if I have watermelons on one of my disks in there, and I put more into the system, even if I have this set up and the priority is the same as the disk, it'll go to the disk first. I hope that makes sense. And I don't know why I'm saving the barley. I think it's pretty useless. Maybe I'll be able to use it for something at some point, but I just don't know. And you can shift click items into the storage buses. That's what I've been doing. If you shift click it, it just puts one of the item there since it's just like a ghost image. Alright, so all we've got to do is connect that to the network, and then they'll all show up. And I think maybe we'll run it underneath and then through the wall there. Like that. And I can put a facade right there so it actually looks like it's coming through the wall. So what I'm going to have to do before I set this up is I'm going to have to get like all of the redstone out of the system. All the logs, all the cobble, all the dirt. Alternatively, I can run what's the IO thing called? I forget the exact name of it. The MEIO port. I think I'll just do that later because that'll take too long during the episode. So now that we've got storage buses, guess what? We've got our almost million cobble now in the system. And now we can carry on with whatever. So let me just move the pattern encoder down here for now, because these patterns I'm going to make will need to go in the machines themselves. So it'll be like a pattern to make glass, or a pattern to make cobblestone, not cobblestone, pattern to make sand, whatever. I'm going to need more processors, I think. I forgot that one of these furnaces is also going to be for dust. And then we can grab our ender chest. And our item tesseract from the quarry. Man, that took forever. Let me grab the tesseract. We'll just move them all at once. And I suppose we can just put these right here since we've already got stuff happening. We'll flip that around. And then we'll use one of these interfaces. There we go. And I probably ought to put put a terminal down here as well, so if I need something I don't have to go back upstairs all the time. Let me see what my time is sitting at. That's 25 minutes. I might be able to get this done. As long as I have some sand and some glass. I know. Oh, I don't have my Mac hooked up. Duh. So I'll just run a cable up here temporarily because I will need to make a few more things. I'll probably actually move the Mac after the episode and make it bigger. Probably, what's it, 4x4 now. Maybe 5x5, something like that. Wonder if I have any obsidian. We can go ahead and make that work. I'll have to jump back up here after I pulverize some obsidian so we can set up the hardened glass recipe. And I need to set this on stack mode because it's going to be really slow until we do that. But not a huge deal. So let me see, 2 spaces, and here we will put our induction smelter. I think I'm going to have to knock out the floor for that. Yep. And let's turn off the purple. We'll put the interface right here. And then we can make our pattern for hardened glass and stuff like that. Electrum, etc. I'm not going to set up all the patterns because once it's demonstrated, probably figure it out. That's not, I didn't run the cable over. Good. That actually does make it a little easier. Now I forget if this it takes 2 obsidian. I always forget that. I have to look that up. And I forgot to bring one. This is why I need a terminal downstairs. Makes it a lot easier for stuff like this. So just throw that pattern in there. What else needs a pattern? We need to make cobblestone into sand. And then we need to make sand into glass. And you can do this with anything, smooth stone, whatever. I'm sure you guys probably already know that. But I'm going to go ahead and point it out anyway in case there are people that aren't familiar with AE and what you can do with it. So that's the basic gist of it. I'll be adding patterns and things as I remember them, because I always forget stuff. And I'm just going to run the cable up and over. Let's see, those are all connected. So I guess it doesn't matter if I put one there or not. And I need an import bus on this side. I can't forget that. I don't think I made the recipe for pulverized obsidian. Let me do that one, because that one definitely going to come in handy. And we'll put it in the bottom pulverizer. I like to have a couple for the ones that require recipes, just to kind of speed things along. Alright, and I have gold and silver. So we might as well make the electrum one as well. Let me get my ratios correct. I think it's 2 gold, 1 silver maybe? Nope, it's a 1 to 1 and you get 2. So when you make a pattern like this, oh damn it, you put your 1 gold, your 1 silver. If you only put 1 electrum over here, AE thinks you're only going to get 1. So if you request 10, you're going to get 20 since you get 2. So you need to make sure that you get your ratios right. If you put, say, 2 gold and 1 silver, it doesn't waste anything, but it's just going to send extra gold to your industrial or your induction smelter. So you'll just have some gold sitting in there unnecessarily. There we go. So now, for instance, if I want to make some hardened glass, we'll just do a quick demonstration. Let me take it all out of the system. By the way, the patterns that go in the interfaces on the machines, they will work without the molecular assembler chamber. So if you need to automatically cook stuff, you can go ahead and make interfaces and patterns and it'll work just fine. Even if we disconnect this, I'll show you. Hardened glass is still here. Let's say I want, let's make 16 of them, okay? So since we have no pulverized obsidian in the system, the first thing it's going to do is send the obsidian to the pulverizer. Once it has enough of it, it'll then send it to the induction smelter, and we already have 16 lead waiting for us. And I actually messed up on this recipe. I think you get 2 for 1 on those. So there's a prime example of how you're going to end up with extra materials if you don't do your patterns correctly. And I think I did this last time too, so not that big of a deal. I'll go ahead and correct this once it has made all of the hardened glass I need. And then I will move the molecular assembler chamber, figure out what I'm going to do with that. I'll dump all of this stuff into the system, and then figure out what we're going to do for the next episode. So that's going to do it, guys. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, as usual, if I can get up there, please leave them down below. If I overlooked anything, in my explanation, please let me know as well. Sometimes I overlook things because I've set this up so many times. I sometimes just do it without realizing if I miss something. So it may look kind of ugly with the wires, but you know, whatever. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.